We're started our vacation!
In a private little room on a ship on our way to Neil Island.
Hello, humanity. Good afternoon, good morning, or maybe it's the middle of the night wherever you are. Today, we are tuning in from the Andaman Islands, a union territory just off the coast of India. And here we are in the beaches, the sun, and a lot of stress. Who on earth would have thought that there would be stress in this beautiful island? Well, when we came here, which was for a pure holiday, we met an anthropologist, we met someone from Andaman Holidays, and we started to look at what we could do to share what we do best, and that's happiness. So I'm going to share with you 3 little stories of what we have done that can also support you in your journey of happiness. So we got all the permissions that we needed from the deputy police, the superintendent of police, and from high-end security at the shipping areas. So the first thing that we did was we laughed with the vaccination center. Now these people have been working almost 24/7 around the clock to support the Andaman Islands with vaccinations. They are 100% vaccinated for the first dose. And were these people stressed? Oh my goodness, were they ever stressed? Well, soon we had them laughing and laughing. Tears were rolling down their eyes. And what we discovered was when you are so wound up, when you're so stressed, as soon as you just give the permission to laugh, they were able to express themselves. So, so often on this show, we just say laugh for no reason. And this is what these people did. They laughed for no reason at all. And as we know, with the pandemic, it affects those of us who have, it affects a lot of people, but especially if you have asthma or respiratory challenges, it really affects that. So when we laughed, we were able to get out all the guck, I call it guck, in our lungs. And as a result of letting out all the guck in our lungs, we were able to get fresh air into the lungs. And that was so important. Not only that, many of them said, whoa, we haven't felt like this in months, actually in years. They said, we work with these people every single day, but today we saw a fresh side. We saw an element of fun. We saw expressiveness. So when you meet your colleagues, what would happen if you looked at them and you learned to laugh together? And what the people that we laughed with said was that it was an amazing feeling. Then we went to an orphanage. We did a laughter, fun, clowning session with about 44 young women. When I say young women, some of them were as young as 4 or 5 years old, and they were in their beautiful party dresses. And we did all sorts of stuff that just ignited their imagination. We asked them, have any of you ridden a motorcycle before? Like, have you driven? And they said, no. And we said, well, what would happen if you got on a motorcycle and decided that you would ride it? Oh my goodness, I can't tell you. They all got on their invisible motorcycles and it sounds like a dog barking. But anyway, they started their motorcycles and they went all around this room. Now this room is a room that's just being built. It overlooks the ocean, the Bay of Bengal rather. And they cleaned up areas of it, but it was still lots of dust, lots of debris that was there. But they found such great happiness in riding this motorcycle. And these young girls were, as I said, between the ages of 4 and about 20. And they said that it helps them to relieve their stress. Many of them were preparing for their board exams. And oh my goodness, they had such fun. And then today, we were with the CI, the Central Industrial Service. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Anyway, we were with them. 44 men and women in uniform who keep our shipping area safe and the security safe. Now, they also did motorcycle laughter. It was completely different. But what we discovered with them was they were able to go back in their memory to remember what it was like to start a motorcycle and to ride freely, while the young girls and the orphans imagined what it was like. The men and women we had today basically went back into their memory and remembered what it was like to relive their childhood, to enjoy running, playing with the ball, playing dodgeball, throwing the ball, juggling scarves. And when they dropped a scarf, it didn't make a difference. It was still done in lots of laughter, lots of love, and lots of play. So what we discovered was it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're on the mainland, whether you're in Chennai, Canada, Oroville, Delhi, or the Andaman Islands. We all go through extreme stress at times, especially during this pandemic. The other thing we realized was it doesn't matter if you're a 4-year-old girl or a 60 or 80-year-old man or someone who's just received a vaccine. There's so much tension that when we begin to laugh, we release these endorphins that help us with our blood pressure and help with our cardiovascular system, and it gives us, as they put it, a freshness. And the other thing that we realized is that we are in this together. When one person smiles, it is so contagious. And as they smiled, soon that smile turned into laughter. Then it became outrageous laughter. And we ended in a beautiful, quiet pranayama and a yoga nidra, knowing that we were all filled with love. We are all enough. And together we can create happiness in this world. And so on that note, we bid you good night, good morning, have a great rest of the day, and thank you for tuning in. See you later, sayonara, and thank you so much, and let's laugh our way out.